Hi,
Okay.
how are you? Good?
Hello. Hello, Enigma. I'm all good. How are you doing?
Amazing. I'm good, all good. Can you introduce yourself to everyone?
I'm Jeries Babish, a producer, composer, songwriter, and a singer, main vocalist of three main projects. Electronic is one of them, which produces electronic oriental music. Mafar Band, which is a rock band that um, makes rock music with Arab texture. Um, and my solo name, which is Jeries Babish, where I make my pop alternative music.
Amazing, amazing. Okay, I'm gonna ask you a few questions because I'm
Yes.
curious. I'm gonna ask you a few questions. So, what do you
Okay.
think about like the current trends in the music industry now? What do you think about them?
Um, Long ago, I thought that I should be judgmental over the music and the musical trends that comes every like a decade, where like every genre saw that major let's say growth, and then it died. And as I said long ago, I used to be judgmental over the new trends, since I'm a believer of making great music, not just trendy fast music pieces. Nowadays I truly think that who controls everything are only the people.
Mhm,
So whatever people like today is the music that should be played,
mhm,
even though I'm not doing or not even making music that is trendy, and I always fight the trend with my own
mhm,
style, which is hard because you can barely reach to some place that you would love to as a musician, and this is like a big fight. You can't really succeed unless you're doing what every successful musician can do. Um, but everything changed nowadays. I do believe in like variety and like change in music, because without this change or the differences between the music, we cannot really have one opinion, you know. So I do think that modern trends urges and um, makes people and even musicians curious to what's next, what's gonna be next. um I hope that I can like go down and just like and say like, okay, I can make trendy music, but I still believe that one day I'm gonna. But nowadays it's hard for me because it's a big transformation.
You put it like very well. Like everything you said, I was like, okay, yeah. And
Sure.
do you
Sure.
think is it realistic to want to pursue like a career as a musician today? Do you think this is possible?
Um, this is the main question today. I do believe that music makes money.
Hmm.
I still didn't. But what I'm thinking of is that a real musician should really keep doing his best, doing what he loves, and this is enough. Music is never related to only making music. I do make money out of advertisements, out of making documentary music for films, or uh, b- um, like many other stuff in the entertainment scene, also the TV, the radio.
Hmm.
This makes me money, but otherwise, as a musician, it's very hard. Like, let's go back to the first question. It's very hard to make money unless you're a trend,
Hmm.
unless you're making the like music which is close to the trend nowadays.
Hmm.
And as I told you before, if you're like, it's a fight between what you want and what people want.
Mhm.
and you have to choose either to follow the trend and do what people loves, or let's say the majority of people, or you just stop nagging about not making music and just keep doing what you are good at.
Mhm. That's very true. And what do you think is like the most important thing musicians nowadays should be aware of if they're gonna start like a music career or they're gonna start posting or producing? What do you think they should be really aware of?
uh like in the past, like people used to make only music and only record, go to the studio, make it a vinyl or like a CD,
Mhm.
and then go to a publishing entity, and then they go after that.
Mhm.
um Today, it's all about marketing and sharing your music throughout the social media platforms, even the music platforms. Since it's very hard only to make music and reach,
Mhm.
people nowadays expect you to make content out of your music. And I think that a musician who doesn't know how to make good content of his music will never reach, because people nowadays don't go for like a market of vinyls or CDs to get to know new artists.
Yeah.
It's all in the social media. So if you're good enough in marketing yourself, this will be easy. I'm not that good in marketing myself, since I do everything. I write my music, I compose it, and then I record it, and then I mix it, and then I master it. And once I reach to the last point of like making this track go live, I have nothing else to do, and I'm tired enough not to do anything else. So once the track is done, I just share it, and then it's dead.
Mhm.
So, in order for our music not to die, the only solution is to market it as much as we can, and that's like my only advice, because marketing today is like the main thing.
Mhm. Okay, and like speaking of your your productions and recordings that you've done, what is like your philosophy on like when you record your project, what do you mostly think about? Like what like can you tell me a little bit about what your thought process is while this is happening?
While writing a new song, you mean?
Yeah, when you're recording, writing a new song.
Like every good artist brings his music from his own experience.
Mhm.
I do so. I mean, my my experiences became songs today, and this is one of my healing processes. So like I feel something, I write about it, and then here's a song. And like I just wanna heal myself throughout publishing this one song, thinking that it might be relatable to other people, and then we feel the same way. Or like I search for this attention throughout making this song and making people love it,
Yeah.
Sometimes I do write the music before, and then I just like write something over it. But mainly words are everything. Like whenever like there's a sentence like comes in front of me, I'll be like, okay, I'm writing about this topic. So and then I just keep writing. Every song has its time limit or like time frame that I'm working on. Some songs needs me like to really work on like for 3 4 months or like maybe a year, and some songs just finishes in 2 hours. So
Yeah.
um it's all about feeling the situation, feeling the what's happening, what's going on, and then just like expressing it
Mhm.
easily.
Amazing. And so to get more specific, in my class we took the term artist entrepreneur. this is what we're really focusing on in business. And I was curious, what do you define or who is an artist entrepreneur to you? And do you consider yourself an entrepreneur?
I definitely do consider myself as one of them, since creating something out of nothing is being an entrepreneur.
Yep.
So it's like I have my three projects, which every one of them makes different type of music. I do believe that every project is like, let's say, um a whole story, you know,
Mm,
and it's like opening three markets, you know. So like a shoe market, and then like a clothes market, and then like maybe vegetables market. So it's it's all about creating something out of nothing,
mhm,
and then make it um like a thing where you can get money out of. And then like it's just a business, you know.
mm,
Music is still a business.
yeah,
It's never only just let's say, oh, that's what I feel
yeah,
like, let us sing a song and feel good about it. It's a
yeah,
business. It's a whole business, and a lot of people like do it, or like they make music only to get money out of it. And there are many like examples where like people succeed in doing that. And like it's 100% being, let's say, adapt them and just moving on with them, because just singing other person's lyrics, or like singing over like a song that a lot of people made but you didn't do anything about, just being a performer is not an entrepreneur. Like for me, a musician should know everything, should know how to market himself,
mhm.
make this business worthy, and make it successful.
Yep, that's very true. And let me see. So, how do you think your musicianship evolved since you started like as a professional musician?
How should my music evolve?
Like,
Sorry.
how did you, so do you think you evolved at all since you started music? Like, since you've, like, the first time you started making
Oh,
music, when was that? When did you start making music?
okay. Oh,
Like,
I
did you change at
started
all since
exactly 10 years ago.
10 years ago? Okay.
Yeah, yeah, it's a big story. So
Mm-hmm.
I always wanted to be in a band. I used to play music since I was 7,
Mm-hmm.
but for the first time, I thought like, oh, I'm ready to be in a band that makes its own music and create something. I hate my light. Think that everyone changes, and the one who refuses to change and develop is someone who So yeah, I started when I was 7, but the first time 10 years ago when I released the first song,
Mm-hmm.
and I noticed how people reacted with it and how people listened to it, made me want to do more. And then after I studied the whole market, I thought, oh, I'm doing the wrong thing actually by only playing music. I really wanna sing also. So like many things changed, even in my genre, because I first started to play like oriental alternative music, and then I changed to rock, and then I developed to making electronic oriental microtonal music, which to me is something innovative. And unless you're doing something new, you're not doing anything that like that can benefit people, because making Pink Floyd music, which is my major example, like the best band ever. Making like or copying their music and keep doing the same music. It's not gonna bring people anything new, and they'll always go to the original thing that brought them that feeling.
Yes.
So I do think that a musician should always develop and try to find himself and in new places because like fear and safe side, safe zone won't change any musician's place or level. It's gonna be like always the same, you know. So
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah. Is my camera off? Yeah. Okay.
yeah,
It turned off. Okay, no problem. Um,
no
okay,
problem.
here we go. I'm back. The internet's so I don't
Yeah.
know what's wrong. Okay. Okay, and would you like to share with us like some of your practice routines, like whether it's vocally or like with songwriting, like anything? Would you like to share anything you do?
So I would say that I miss practicing. I do music all the time.
Mm,
I make music all the time. Um, like I've been doing. Sorry. Okay. So I've been doing music all my life, and um, once I started producing my own music, I stopped practicing. I do consider making music as practicing, but it's not as performance
mm,
practicing because we all need to keep practicing until the last day of our lives.
yeah.
But like I have that wall between me and just practicing because once I hold my guitar to start like practicing, for example, guitar, I'll write a song and then the song will take me away from practicing. And then I'll start thinking of, oh, how I'm gonna make this new lyrics that I wrote or the new chords that I found out here. How can this formation make me a new song?
Mhm.
And since music today is all made in the box, I always like hold my laptop and the first thing I do I start my demo. So yes, I play music all the time. Do I practice? No. Is it important? It's the most important thing in the world. And I do miss practicing, like just playing 3 hours without doing anything that I know. But it's very hard.
Yeah, that's true. I have a really hard time practicing when I know it's super important, but it's just I just
Yeah,
don't do it. Yeah.
I
Okay.
do believe so.
Yeah. So actually, I wanted to ask you this question. It's not even on the questions I had, but I'm just curious. How did you like have this fusion of like you are fusing like your Middle Eastern and then also Western? And how did you come up with this idea? Like how are you doing that? How are you
Mhm.
balancing it out?
So I'm not saying that I'm the first one who created like the mix between microtonal and the Western music. I
Mm-hmm.
am just one of the people who think that doing this more is nice.
Yeah.
So I held my expertise in like playing the nai, the Oriental flute, which has the microtonal additional notes to the major scale. Um, makes what I love in the Western music. Um, I stepped out of my comfort zone of making rock music and only singing in Arabic, which is like not mostly using microtonal, but I used to like, oh, I wanna like imply this and this. I wanna just try how it's gonna turn out. But actually, the first time I really started doing it at Berkeley, where like it was all the time just an idea. And then in my CE project, graduation project at Berkeley, I thought that I need to make something innovative I know that people tried before to make microtonal, like a mix between the microtonal samples, or like, oh, that's a nice oud sample we wanna just add to electronic music. While I thought that, oh, actually, I can create those samples, which is original. Since I am a multi instrumentalist, I can play many live instruments and also sing and also make electronic music. I thought, how innovative can I go if I use the electronic music, especially techno and Afro house, to like use also microtonal scales that can touch the Western or um, the West feeling. You know, like the
Yeah,
people from
yeah.
the West never heard the microtonal in their systems. So I thought, like, okay, actually, I'm not aiming for my crowd, the Arab crowd, the Middle Eastern crowd. I really want to touch uh, their curiosity, you know, in the West and be like, okay, you can hear this in our way. So,
Yeah.
and it turned out good. I got a great yeah, I got great feedback from the professors, so it was
Amazing.
good.
Yeah, of course. And can you tell us like some music you've done, like their names, or did you release anything recently?
Yeah, so this project, which is by the name of Falactronic.
Mhm.
Falactronic is the band. I mean, it's not a real band. It's just like the umbrella over the music that I make under the electronic. Um, so let's say I have an album now. It's all over the platforms. It's called Ya Zarif. Ya Zarif is a main song in a folkloric song in Palestine, which I changed the whole scale and I changed even the time signature of the song, aiming to challenge even the Middle East ears and be like, okay, you are like used to hearing um, this song in a specific way, and like here you go, here's with techno. So yeah, I do think that it can reach to a bigger audience. Hopefully soon.
Amazing. And how important do you think is branding for like branding and social media for the music career? Do you think it's important?
Mm. Branding and marketing are two different things, but they are under the same umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
So uh, a brand is where you get people attached to what you're doing,
Mm-hmm.
and like you can build a sense of feeling that people, whenever they see your name or they hear your music, they can relate to to just one person, you know.
Yeah.
So branding is the main thing before marketing, since people need to follow a leader or to follow an idol, and musicians can be idols for people, you know.
Yep.
So I branding is really important. Making a whole image is something very important, vital to the musicians, um, and without it, you like people won't get attached.
Yeah.
And marketing is the most important after branding, since you have to then market what your brand, you know. Like, let's keep thinking that music is a business and it's a market that you opened, and you have to really go on with it and just like show the people, always show the people what you're doing.
Amazing. Jeries, sorry to cut you off
Yep.
because the Zoom meeting is gonna end soon, so I'm just gonna start
Yeah.
a new one just to continue the questions, but just thought I'd let you know
Yeah.
so I don't cut you off. Okay, let me just stop this one.
Okay.
Okay, this is part two. So what were we, do you remember
Okay.
what we were talking about before that?
Branding.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
Branding, no?
you're talking about branding and marketing, and you told
Yeah.
me they're different, but they're under the same umbrella. So, right?
Yes. Yes.
Do you think branding is more important
So
or marketing?
Yeah, I think I think I'm as I said before, they're two different things, but they complete each other.
Hmm.
But let's say branding is more important
Hmm.
since, like, if you have an image, this is already a marketing, you
Mm.
know.
Yeah.
And then it depends on how to share it, or like how to, like, to show it to most people possible. Um, but yeah, I think branding is more important.
Hmm. And I was gonna ask you also, how do you balance between like your creative vision with other like commercial demands when producing music for the Middle East or for
Mm.
people? How do you manage that?
I think it's the hardest thing since you always have your image and like how you want the song to turn out,
Hmm.
but you always have to follow the music trends where like what people like, what people would listen to.
Yeah.
I do follow a lot of examples when I'm making music, like even the intro, like how should the intro go, or like how much should it be? Should it be like 40 seconds intro, or like should I start directly and just like start singing? Like every decision depends on how you want the final result to be, but mainly following what I think people would think.
Mhm.
You know, it's always like I always put myself in the situation of like, oh, if they heard this, how they gonna react? Today I can make a whole song that I adore, like, and this is my favorite song from all of the ones I've written, but it it might just not be as good as I think to people, you know.
Hmm.
And I have two examples where like two songs that I like all my songs, but these two are the least, and these two are what people like,
Wow.
and
You
it's
know
just
what the
like
reason
it
is?
differs. So I always get surprised by what people like. Um, I think the main reason is that it's following what people like, not what I like.
Mm.
You know, and that's like a living example
Mm.
that I had to experience. So
Yeah.
yeah, it's very debatable too.
Yeah. Do you do you think like people are looking to listen to music that's like something they already know, like familiar with? Is it, do you think they get a bit like intimidated if something is new? What do you think?
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So
Mhm.
Habibi, okay. So yeah, people really like um the things that they've heard alike. You know, I've seen many examples and many meme videos of like songs that got really famous, or like songs that won the Eurovision,
Mhm.
and at the same time making um like a song that was made before, or like using melodies from another song.
Mm.
um People really get intimidated by new things, and that's what I'm trying to do in my electronic oriental album, where like, oh, I'm trying to move beyond these
Mm.
walls. But for real, it's always that people like, and it happens with me all the time when I hear something that is like close to my ear. I keep listening more, and many successful bands, even in the Middle East, when they changed their whole genre in the second album, I can mention Mashru' Layla and even Al Murabba from Jordan, where when they made their first album, they got really famous and
Mm.
people really followed them like crazy. And then the next album, because people are not used to them changing the genre, they were like, oh, hold on, this is not the band I used to listen to.
Mm.
And as I told you, it's very debatable, and you always have to be really like strong enough to change what people would think, and that just making them follow your story.
Hmm. And what's your most, like, you think your most successful song is music?
Um, um, I can say what people think since like they got the views. So, um, I think Dolly Shway is the most famous and the least one I like.
Oh my
Just
God.
because this is not my type of music, but I try to make something. Yeah, yeah, I try to make something new with my songs, and then it hit, just
Wow.
because people liked it. And yeah, it got famous. I think I have like nearly 300K
Wow.
over that song. But like, yeah, but just like, um, let's say I didn't want to make another song that is similar to it. So I just keep doing new music.
Hmm. Okay. Yeah. And I think we already touched on that before, but I'll ask you it in a different way. What advice would
Yeah.
you give to like aspiring producers or songwriters about navigating like the global music industry while staying true to their cultural roots?
I would say keep challenging yourself, go beyond the rules, and it's not always going out of the box. This is, I think, a wrong example to say.
Mhm.
Sometimes what you are searching for is in the box.
Yeah.
So just challenge yourself, be true to yourself, be comfortable doing the music you love, and people will find you. And like, just don't be faking in music because this is gonna be so obvious.
Yeah, that's true. And how do you see like
Yeah.
how do you see the future of the Middle East, like the Middle Eastern music industry evolving? And like what opportunities should producers or songwriters or singers be preparing for?
So in the Middle East, like, there's a major, like, I think, difference between the Middle East and the Western music. Since the Western music, it's either jazz, blues. Some of them are just like likable to many people because they grow up on listening to these
Hmm.
genres, so they all know the same bands, and that I experienced throughout my travels and meeting new people all around the world.
Mm.
But in the Middle East, it's just harder because people do listen to blues and jazz and reggae, for example,
Yeah.
and at the same time, they listen to Middle Eastern music. And Middle Eastern music is it's not just one type; it's many types. So there's a really big difference between the Middle East and like the way music is made in the Middle East. I do think that it's hard to get fans in the Middle East since there's a lot of stereotypes. Um, like it's you should always do what people would like, and it's hard to challenge your society since in the Middle East, people and society are just different, and they do want one specific music that they are familiar with.
Mm.
Especially, let's say, Tarab, or like those nostalgic songs from the past. And it's harder to convince them of new music because,
Yeah.
like, for example, my parents doesn't listen to one rock music or like one rock band, but I do so, and it's like in the same house we are different. So yeah, it's crazy, but for the Middle East. it's always a bigger challenge. I do believe so.
Mm. And do you think there's a Middle Eastern artist that that's rising now that deserves more recognition? Of course, other than yourself, because you deserve more recognition as well. But other than
Yeah, I'm a bit older than I think.
other than
I'm a bit
other than
older.
yourself.
Um, um, okay, let me go bias
Okay.
and just say Bukulthum, which is not a new artist who needs more publicity. He's like well known,
Hmm.
but this guy always fascinates me with his music, and like he's the rapper and he's a great singer with a great voice. He's the producer of his own, like most of his own music. He keeps doing music, and he's just like, he's an immigrant from Syria, which like
Mm.
he really experienced bad life, and he's writing from it. I love the music that comes from a story, and this guy has a story. That's why I would say his name. Otherwise, the popular Middle Eastern industry is full of pop, overrated musicians or like singers. Let me say so. Let us not talk about the old people, but the new music that is being made is out of only content creators, which has no real content.
Yeah.
So it's a fight, either us or them in the music industry.
Yeah.
And let's see who wins.
Yeah. And one more question about that. Okay, then you said this is for like rising artists. What about an artist that already exists that you think is, or either even if they passed away, but you think is to you a very important person in the music industry?
Oh, I would say Marwan Khoury,
Mm-hmm.
since like he's an artist of all. He's also a writer, musician, composer, singer, and he's just like unbelievable singer in the pop industry. Um, but other than that, I like look. The names are like countless. You know, the
Yeah.
people that are doing great music. I would only remember these people, but I really like many people, especially from Egypt. Kairoki for me are like
Mm.
one of the greatest times of like greatest bands of all times. Um, and like many others. Shab Khalid, for example, like a
Yeah.
very old artist in the scene, but like you cannot just like bring up one name.
Yeah. There's many. Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
do you think, like, from your experiences, do you think your collaborations and partnerships helped your music career grow?
Definitely 100%. I made music with lead artists and rappers in the Middle East. I made music with many people. I produced for many artists too, but I do think that collaborations gets you a different perspective of music that you're always thinking of. In your own music, you're only gonna do what you like or what you love. But when you collaborate with people, you take from their experience, you take from their knowledge and like ideas, you know.
Hmm.
So it's always important to collaborate, not forgetting uh, the real cause behind it. It's not publicity, where publicity is always guaranteed in such projects, but the main cause or like the main reason why I would collaborate with people is to really learn from them and just get out of my comfortable zone, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's it in big.
amazing. For
Actually, in short, but
the okay, for the
بكبير بكبير.
الكبير. Oh,
Yes.
for the closing questions, I just want to ask you, what does the future look like for you?
Um, as a Palestinian musician, I don't know the future. Since I have experienced walls and checkpoints all my life. It's been harder for me than anyone else to make music. It's been even crazier and like even impossible making music with all the situation and what's going on. Like I'm now 31 years old. I've been occupation for my past 31 years, definitely since the day I was born. Um, and this makes you think that there's no future because you're just used to seeing this. So, like, you can't see the sky from that big wall. Um, the future is always like you can't really know what's gonna happen. But let's say I I'm curious to see what's gonna happen. I'm always like motivated by my own music and the people who loves me truly to keep making music and just like think of a better future and think that this music and it's reaching globally the people. It's making like let's say it's making the story or like it's closing my storyline. So I hope one day in the future I get the fame I want just to share and to hold my country's flag all over the world.
And
Yes.
that's amazing, and I hope you, because you are a very talented and amazing person, because I know, so for anyone watching this, I know Jeries
Thank you.
personally, and I've worked with him, and he's an amazing person truly, and he's super talented. So I really hope everything you said, like you get the recognition you deserve, and that people continue to love you for who you are. Yeah. But yeah,
Thank you so much.
thank you so much.
Hopefully, hopefully.
Thank you, Jeris. Thank you for your time. I'm very grateful. Thank you so much.
Thanks to you. Thank you for this great opportunity
Of course.
and good luck.
Thank you.